youth of Eastern Portland, are you a business person? Interested in getting into business? Looking for new business opportunities? You know what's with us there, I go on with our reasoning and I get ready for the symposium tomorrow. But really, we spoke, and most of the time when we talk, people criticize and said we're talking politics and we're not talking economics. Right. No, we looked at this budget, we spoke after the budget, and we said that the budget had a lot of fluff and hole in the budget. And here we are now where there's a shortfall. I heard you with the Minister of Finance. Where are you now as it relates to that shortfall? What are the effects it will have on us and how we can overcome it?
All right, so the first thing.
Yeah, man, go ahead.
So the first thing that we want is apologists to know is that, as he said, he's the one who called us. We never called him. He's the one who called us. And he said he called us because he knows that we always conduct detailed analysis. That is why he called us, unlike his apologists.
So he wants to be questioned about the whole thing.
Yeah, man. And he wants his competent people to question him, not his apologists.
All right.
Right. That was the first thing he said. I need that thing. No, where we are now, there's a massive shortfall. This is the first time for a long time. March is the month we collect most of our tax revenue. This is the first time in a long time that we have this massive shortfall in the month of March, which is the last month of the fiscal.
When it's the first in a long time, about how long? Because you know time.
20, 15, 20 years. Long time.
Wow. Talk to me.
Yeah. So what he's saying now is that even if based on the level of confusion that he interested in as well as the advisor, that this is just a blip on the radar screen and then catch up in the months to come. We are saying to him, as we were saying for a long time, the economy is not growing fast enough to support the level of taxation that you want to call it. So this is not just a blip. It is now reaching a stage where the people just cannot pay any more taxes. Right now, Jamaica's tax to GDP ratio is 30%, one of the highest in Latin America and the Caribbean.
But hold on, Ralston. You're not just saying this, you know. You have said this before.
Consistently. That is why all the analysts, people like David and King, David Strong, the Stokes, all of those fellows, they don't have a clue about what they're saying. And they confuse.
But I listen, hold on, Ralston, and I try go over the moon of the thing, but I've been saying to people constantly why I have confidence in the figures that Ralston give me and the analysis and the opinions that he gives is that him said them before them happen.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Him said them.
What these guys are doing on Monday morning quarterbacking and running up and down like food because they don't know what they're doing. And there's a thing in the media where you have some people in the media who pretend that they're jacks of all trade, but they're masters of none. So what they do is rub their mouth when the budget is ready and tell people about the best budget in the world. and call the soda analysts like Dennis Strong and Damian King and Nelson Stokes and all those fellas and just one man of foolishness.
So
the minister never called on them to get him out of the problem. He can't meet.
Make we go back to the figures, Ralston. So you're saying that in spite of no new taxes, the Jamaican people are heavily taxed. Mark Bolin said that in his budget presentation.
And everybody was criticizing him. All the Sudan analysts were criticizing him and saying talking nonsense. When the chickens have not come home to roost.
You see,
we have one of the highest tax to GDP ratio in the entire world, 30.4%.
You say one of the highest. You say one of the highest. So that means it's not the highest. Who the higher than we? Which country?
The people in the Scandinavian countries like Belgium and Denmark and those places. But the people see what they get for
but those countries. Hold on, but those countries have some of the highest standard of living in the world.
That's the point I'm making. So, we're getting nothing for our tax revenue. That's the point I'm making.
Let's go back to the figures. So you were saying that we are heavily taxed and what rate we are taxed at, and it can't continue. Talk to us.
Right. So what is happening now is that the economy needs to grow faster if we are going to sustain these rates of taxes. But they are still bent on going in the same direction. If you notice, even the chairman of the whose macroeconomic credibility is extremely suspect is now saying to the minister that in order to deal with this problem, you need to cut the spark program and you need to reverse the tax credit. Now, that's a very stupid advice because part of the reason that we're not growing is because the government is not spending the meager capital budgets that it announced. For example, last year they announced 75 billion in capital, they spent only 59 billion. This year they announced 80 billion, including 40 for the spark program. The spark program is supposed to be funded by the 45 billion. The minister still hasn't identified the 45 billion. So
and him still never tell you.
No. And the quiz the monetary couldn't tell us. So the real shortfall is more like 67 billion rather than the 22.8 million he's talking about.
Ralston, right after the budget, one of the main things we were asking is that where that $40 billion is going to come from, and what are the things, what are the receivables the minister spoke about. And with a shortfall coming up after the budget and all of that, he's still not telling us how can you run the country? Can the country legally, is that constitutional that the minister planning to divest something, sell something, and don't tell the people that can happen?
Well, the point is, yeah, he admitted that it's not the right approach to take. But the fact of the matter is that although he said that he hasn't identified where it is coming from, that is why he can't talk, because he hasn't identified it.
So him just give you an argument, that's what you are saying?
A 6 for a 9, yeah.
No, that's not possible, Ralston. The minister could not come to the parliament. Oh, no. No, but that means that means the minister is misleading the parliament.
Yes, that is not the first time.
So you are saying that the projects that was announced under the Sparks program, you are saying those projects should not be cut?
No, because if you want the economy, remember, one of the reasons that we are not going as fast as we should is because there's very little investment in infrastructure, particularly road infrastructure. Remember, if an investor is going to build a hotel in Morgan Road,
yes,
one of the reasons why we got all those hotels that we got the Spanish invasion was because PTA built the highway.
But they said the PNP did nothing in 18 years.
That is not nonsense, man. If you notice on the Sula Island, the American Kingdom comes back and says, by the way, the debt to GDP ratio is heading to by where it was in 1976. 63% on American money. When they said it was the worst time in the history of Jamaica. These fellas are very confused.
But Ralston, if we develop this infrastructure, though, how are we? What is it that we are going to produce? So because we can't just develop the infrastructure and then you spend that one piece of money there. What we ever do after that? What we ever produce? So we ever start earning?
All right, watch you know. Minister Bartlett, the great marketer, is consistently saying, based on demand study, the agricultural sector must produce more of the inputs for the tourism sector. The manufacturing sector must produce more of the beds, more of the towels, more of the tissues, and all of those things for the tourism sector. Here's what the people in agriculture and manufacturing say. The people in agriculture, they say only 10% of the country's arable land is irrigated. They can't get any money to borrow. Yeah? The people in the manufacturing sector, they're saying the same thing. They can't get affordable financing. They can't get an incentive for innovation and all of those things. Yeah? So the Ministry of Agriculture needs a bigger capital budget apart from the 3.9. The 3.9 billion is the capital budget of the Ministry of Agriculture.
So that the capital budget means that pays salaries and maintenance.
No, the capital budget is to fix the road them and deal with the irrigation and all of that stuff.
For the Ministry of Agriculture?
Yeah.
And they get to what you said?
$3.7 billion in the capital budget. Yet the Minister of Tourism wants them to contribute more to the tourism sector so that we can get more than the 40% that we are getting. So when the minister said about 4.3 billion in tourism, it's only 1.72 billion he admitted in the parliament when he made sectoral presentation recently. So the easiest way, we can get more from the tourism sector if we provide the level of assistance that the manufacturing and the agricultural sector.
Yeah, but how you gonna do that, Ralston, when the government remove the GCT from importation of raw foods and these things? How do you do that when the hoteliers who are owned by Mexican and Spaniards and they can bring the thing them from for them country cheaper? How we ever ensure?
So all those policy conundrums have to be fixed. That's the point I'm making. What the minister has been doing, even getting by his apologies, that say, boy, all the other pay down the debt and not straight up the economy and make it find its own level and see. That approach cannot work. The Republic of the United States of America, the biggest bastion of the free market, they do not do that. They protect their things from China and the world, even from us. Yeah? So all that big visa fee and the creative industry, those are protectionist measures. While we just open up ourselves. So that policy framework has to change if the economy is going to move forward. That is what the shortfall in the tax revenues are telling us. That we need to change direction now. It can't be that you just focus on paying down the debt and allow the economy to find its own level. That's not going to work.
But here's something that I heard when you spoke to the minister. He spoke about it's commercial tax that is short, right? And that's from the corporate tax, yeah. And that's from the business people. And I think he said that the business sector is making less profit because they are unable to pass on the additional cost to the consumer. Is that so? Is that so?
No. If you look at corporate profits, they're making more profits now than ever. What is happening to them, or what happened to them last year, is that the higher interest rate regime is now biting. So we need to look at other measures to contain inflation rather than the stupidity coming from central banks. And the new IFRS regulations, if they can't do anything about that, we tell them this, that is something that they have to live with.
Right.
They have to find mechanisms to grow the economy faster so that we'll be able to afford the level of taxation that they want. So you can't grow the economy faster if you don't invest in infrastructure and invest in the people of the country.
Right.
You have to invest more in education. You have to invest more in the creative industries to accelerate, because the creative industry is the greatest industry that the globally, brand Jamaica, tourism, food, creativity, sports. Those are the things that internationally people want to buy from Jamaica. Those are the things that Jamaica are competitive.
But why we have a problem in seeing that, Ralston?
It is because of the kind of mentality of the people of the country and of the people in the banking sector.
I have a brethren, Dr. Hyman Black. He says, and I think I've heard you share the same opinion, that if the creative industry is growing and to achieve its true potential, it is the regular man in the street that will get wealthy from this, and that our leaders don't want to see that happen.
Yeah, man. Not the political leaders and the corporate leaders.
You share that, Ralston? You share that view?
Yeah, man. The creative people are the same people. They are black and they are the descendants of the slaves. That is why they do not want to invest in that industry, despite the obvious nature that it is the industry that is demanded globally. Why do you believe they deal with agriculture like that?
But Ralston, I am putting it to you this morning that that the team that Mark Golden has put together, Dr. Deborah Icklin, myself, Dr. Olivia, and you, O'Shane, I mean, the plans that we have for the creative industry is to see the creative industry earn $30 billion annually. You think that's possible, Ralston?
Yeah, man.
Annually, $30 billion from the creative industry.
Yeah, it is not only possible, it is highly probable, because that is the industry that the people of the world is demanding from Jamaica. Music, entertainment. You hear the money talking about a great international banker from Jamaica globally.
Ralston, I tell people every day that 4 years and we can turn this country into a rich country. 4 years. With the talent that this country possesses, Where the country is located, our positioning in the world. We speak English. And we hear suffering.
Yeah, man, I have superstars. Dime a dozen. We have superstars for
dime a dozen we have superstars.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Every year, athletics.
World recognition.
Yeah, man.
World following.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Brand Jamaica. Food, sports, entertainment, tourism. Yeah.
I mean, our food, Ralston, when you go around the world, people talk about Jamaican food, them want you cook for them. Them want you jerk for them.
And that's the sector that controls the government.
Well, Ralston.
You know that the bankers don't know how to value intellectual property. We just hear discussion starting at the BOJ as to how they can get the bankers to start value things like intellectual property.
Of course. But I tell people every day, the largest group of rich people in America are the people in the creative industry.
Yeah, man, the creatives, yeah, man.
The largest.
It is similar for Jamaica if we are going through the administration under the country.
And I am saying to Jamaicans that we are going to create easily 50,000 new millionaires in Jamaica.
Yep.
Real millionaires.
Right now, that's the only industry that can save Jamaica from the poverty that we are in right now. Every nigga is a star
long time. I don't know. Every nigga is a star.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
So we have hope.
The current policies are holding down the people. That is why those who are surprised, they don't have any sense. Because what we're saying is that the policy that the minister has been pursuing is to transfer resources from the poor to the rich in terms of paying down the debt before time. So you pay down the debt before time, but you don't fix the road. You pay down the debt before time, but you don't build an entertainment, massive national entertainment center. You pay down the debt before time, but you don't build a proper stadium. You pay down the debt before time, but you don't invest in research and development and new technology. So how you expect to grow and how you expect to sustain that rate of tax collection?
Do you
think that stupidity is a monumental exercise in futility and stupidity, as Ralston was said?
How many years you been saying that? You've been saying that for quite a number of years.
For quite a while. 10, 15 years.
And that's why me tell people.
Laugh at them when they're panicking now because what did they expect?
Ralston.
Two things are fully done. All of the analysts are done.
Do you expect to see a difference now we know we pay the debt or we pay down for the debt?
No, they are not going to do it. When we spoke to the minister, we get the impression that he's going to continue on the same trajectory.
Hold on. He said paying down the debt faster now proves as a buffer.
And I'm saying to him, going faster would be the biggest buffer. Because if you're running the economy at 5 and 6% per annum, then we would have this problem.
I would have money.
Would have money, I wouldn't be needing to borrow so much money. If you notice, you can't see that we're going to borrow more this year than last year. So the one thing is stupidity.
So what do you say now? What do you say now to all the people who've been saying that the economy is doing good?
I'm saying to them that they're simple one thing, they're fully done. All the so-called propagandists in the media who are pretending that they're handling, they're just fully done. That's why I didn't do that without any apologies. They're fully done. And if you notice, the minister conceded that the rate of economic expansion has been decelerating for 8 consecutive quarters. When I told him that, he had to agree.
But that is a fact, isn't it? That's a fact. That was not an opinion.
Precisely. And that is why I'm going to say, when the media started releasing these things, the media come and tell people that the economy grew by X. They're not doing a comparative analysis and say, by the way, for the last quarter of 2022, we grew by 3.8%. For the last quarter of 2023, we are now down to 1.7%. Yeah, so it means you must be collecting less revenues because the rate of growth is decelerating rapidly.
I have a listener saying that.
Big part of this problem now. The media people.
The fourth estate?
Yeah, man, a big part of the problem.
Are you saying that the fourth estate has now become a part of the mansion, the main estate?
Of course. Part of the government's propaganda apparatus, of course. Yep.
But
everybody's ashamed now. Everybody's panicking and running up and down the place. If they were doing their jobs properly, then this would have happened.
Why they don't listen to you, Ralston?
They don't listen because I said they become part of the government's propaganda apparatus and we have a different.
Is it that people prefer to hear a lie than to accept the truth?
Yeah, man. And
Serious enough?
The media must take a big part of the blame for this because they perpetuate that. So when the man in come and said, Ray, they must say to the man them themselves now they read it. They don't understand what they ask the man them. So they act like reporters. The minister said. They must have to say about minister. When we look at the numbers, this is not very.
Well, there you go.
They're not into that. They are just messing that.
But they have not been looking at the numbers.
No, they don't understand what they're talking about. I would be a person who knows the answer to the question that they're asking before
there you go. That's if the man tell you a lie, you can say, but. Yeah, you have to be informed. You have to be informed. And that's the problem. A lot of people now you see running up and down, but them a reporter and them in a media and them this, they do not have the information on the stuff that they speak about. And therefore anybody can tell them any garbage.
Anything.
And I remember, when minister was asked in the debate, when what's this young girl name was a minister? What happened to 5 in 4?
5 in 4.
And the man gave them an answer that was so beautiful in words and articulation. No substance, no truth.
No substance, no truth, ever. So the media is a big part of the letdown of the country. So they must take responsibility for where we are now.
Ralston, I live in Jamaica. You live in Jamaica. So I'm not going to continue to talk about the problem. Tell us now how we're going to fix this. What the minister must do. You say he mustn't cut the Sparks program. What he must do.
What the minister must do at this particular point in time is slow the pace of debt reduction and maintain the capital budget because the capital budget that is going to allow us to grow.
So cut the fat from the payment.
Yeah.
Cut the fat from the debt payment.
Yeah, man, and pump it in places like agriculture, in the manufacturing sector, in terms of research and development and all of those things, improve the transport sector. That is what we need at this particular time. And no cuts to those areas. What we need to do is to reduce the pace of debt reduction because we're now at 72%. We're coming from 147%. Many people don't know. Jamaica has the 3rd fastest debt reduction in the world in the last 10 years now.
But the minister like that. That's what the minister enjoys.
Precisely, I know. That is what I'm saying to you now. He has to change that because that is the message that the revenue shortfall is sending.
But how you tell him to change that now when the world are big him up and that the money I talk about? Big up out of the world. Yeah. Fitz and Finch and Moody's are giving some ratings.
Precisely. So here's the problem though. One reason that the Minister of Finance has to be a member of Parliament is that he has a constitutional responsibility to the people of Jamaica.
To look after the people.
This minister is more looking after the financial communities, local and international, rather than the people of Jamaica. And I'm saying to you, if they continue this trajectory, continue on the current pace of debt payment, cut the capital budget, things are going to get harder, and the 10-point lead is going to become 16 points and 20 points, and they won't survive. Right now, I'm telling you, they won't survive. Because the level of hardships that are going to be imposed on the people, they can't survive. And we're going
what level of hardship are you talking about, Ralston?
So, right now, people have a problem with roads and water. If you don't fix those things, then, a big problem.
But those are announced in the budget, and you are saying to the government, don't pull back on those projects. Go through with those projects.
No, if they pull back on those things, they're going to be out of office.
So you are saying that they're going to run with it?
No, they can't run with it.
Hold on, the man.
To slow the pace of debt reduction and keep those things going.
So that's what you are saying for them to do?
Yeah.
But
people who have limited macroeconomic credibility telling them to do the opposite, cut the capital budget.
So
remember, the capital budget is already insufficient. That is why we are where we are. The capital budget is a budget that leads to a multiplier effect on an expansion of the economy. They have not been spending the capital budget, and that is why the rate of economic expansion has been decelerated in the past quarter, and that is why they have not been able to make the tax revenue. That is created in industries. Yeah.
How much they're paying? How much they're paying more on the debt by? What's the overpayment on the debt?
This year, the debt service charges amount to $491.2 billion. The primary surplus is 6% of GDP. When we started in 2013, after they crashed the economy, the punishing primary surplus that we got was 7.5% of GDP. After the past 10 tests, we got them to bring it down to 7% of GDP. Since then, the debt to GDP ratio is now down to 72%. Barbados has a debt to GDP ratio of 115%. Their primary surplus is 2.5% of GDP. So we should be running a primary surplus of more than about 4% of GDP max.
All right, so in our real figures, what that primary surplus work out to?
That work out to 183 billion. So if we reduce the primary surplus to, say, 4% of GDP, that will provide us with $75 billion.
So that will take care of all of the problem?
That's the point I'm making to you.
So why they would want to? So that sounds like an easy fix to me.
Yeah, it's an easy fix if you are being pragmatic and you are talking about the people of Jamaica. It's not an easy fix for the minister because he's not pragmatic and he wants to dig up from the financial community.
So when you say the minister don't love the Jamaican people?
Well, if you look and use action speak louder than words, that's what it translates to. My personal view is that the minister is doing that because when they lose the election, they want to work for the IMF or the World Bank or the IDB.
So he might try to be in them good book?
Yeah, he might do with them money rather than what the people of Jamaica want, and they are going to pay a price for that. The government election and the 9-point lead is part of the price that they paid for that, and it is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
Well, them never lose bad enough in the local government election, it looked like. They should have been wiped out.
Yeah, and that is why the people send them a further message in the polls with the 10-point lead. No matter what Warmington and some people wannabes want to say, the 9-point lead is another signal to them, and if they continue the current direction, it's going to be 50 and it's going to be 20. Yeah.
Ralston, when we look at a place like Portland, East Portland, my baby, where we haven't seen any investment, and I mean, Portland has so much to offer. There's a tourism boom. Portland is the cradle of tourism in Jamaica. Why would an area with such potential just left? How that works in a country that you need more revenue?
That's the point I'm making. Short-sightedness, because that's what I'm saying to you. And that is why we say to Minister Bartlett, rather than just talk aloud about this, you need to sit down with your colleague minister, the Minister of Finance, and tell him, or the Prime Minister, and tell him that these areas need more support if we're going to max it. Because they get about 4.3 billion, because of 4.3 billion, and we only get 1.7 billion. That will make sense.
Yeah.
Dominican Republic will get 60% of everything.
And we get 40 what?
And we get 40, 20 percentage points less than the Dominican Republic.
So Jamaicans, what is taking place can't work. Tourism is our biggest foreign exchange earner.
No, remittance. Remittance is almost twice tourism earnings. Remittance is at 3.5 billion, tourism at 1.7 billion, 1.7.
No, but if you put on the whole 4 mash, it would be tourism, but you are saying that we only get 1.something billion out of it.
No, only get the 4, but only 1.7. Many man themselves admitted. A long time I tell people that they finally admit it now. You only get 40% of that.
So we can't talk about the 4 because the 4 don't come to us.
No.
What we need to do is to ensure that we get more from the 4.
Yeah, that's the point I make. And the manufacturers and the agricultural man must ensure that we get more. But
Ralston,
must provide more support to them.
When you get these investors to come in and to build these hotels, there's nothing in the deal that says you have to purchase this in Jamaica and this
no,
after.
They tell them they can't do it like this. Unlike what down on them do. Down on them money make them know so you have to buy this from all people. You have to buy that from all
people. But that's simple business practice.
Precisely.
Me I let you in for my business. There have to be some things that will work out where will benefit me long term and benefit my people.
Yeah, man. Yes, I'm a good master, but he's not a good businessman. Them sell the country short.
But in terms of tourism, Ralston, tourism is growing around the world. It's not just Jamaica tourism I grow.
Correct.
So, on a like...
And we have the next product. The money I sell the man them fancy and selling I sell the man in the creative industry.
But that's what I'm just about to say to you. We not really sell all our product. We just basically I sell what is seen, what is obvious, the sun, sea, and the sun.
Precisely. Then the two certain people. Here's another key. In himself said the Exim Bank provided $2 billion in 4.5% loan to the people in tourism.
$2 billion.
Yet the money in agriculture can get $200 million. So you see the difference. In want them to do more, but them can't get the money. Yet the money in tourism, we want them to, the money can get $2 billion. So 90 tourism entities got $2 billion at 4.5%.
Wow.
So full ton of much money agriculture get to borrow last year, $100 million.
But I have never really heard the finance minister, Ralston, spoke to agriculture, really.
No, man. The finance minister, that's what I'm telling you. The finance minister only talk about finance. Or the favorite word, the primary surplus and the GDP and the finance minister never talk about production and exports.
But he presides over all of the money.
Yeah, that's a part of the problem with the country. We have a finance minister who don't talk about real production and exports. That's an obvious big problem. All he talk about is financialization.
You would have spoken to the Minister of Agriculture.
Yeah.
Is he satisfied with what he's getting from the Finance Minister?
No, but he's afraid to talk. Everybody on the cabinet is afraid of the Finance Minister.
What?
The Finance Minister around the country. Have you noticed who advise the Finance Minister? Pure finance people. Biles, Duncan, them kind of people. So they make policies to suit themselves, not to suit the whole country.
So you are not confident that the finance minister is going to take the shortfall from the forward payment in the debt, but to cut the projects.
He made it clear that we're going in the same direction. Julia Robinson told the people of Jamaica that is something that the opposition is willing to consider.
So they are going to now say that Julian is irresponsible, fiscally irresponsible.
Can I remind you, when we first said that they should have spent 40 billion more, all of the pseudo analysts in the media said it was reckless and irresponsible. You notice that this year's budget is 260 billion more than the last budget, and that 260 billion is concentrated on debt payment. So is that not fiscally reckless?
Somebody's asking that if we're going into a... Are we going into a recession, Ralston? Is that, or that will not happen?
Certainly. That's where we're going to eventually end up.
What?
Yeah, but that's where we're going to end up. The next quarter, the rate of economic growth is going to be slower than the last quarter of last year.
But
itself is slowing down, and we are creating our own recession by not spending our capital and spending.
But to go into a recession, you have to have what? 3 consecutive quarters.
2 consecutive quarters decline in economic activity.
2 consecutive quarters of decline.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Remember, we're down from 3.8% to 1.7%. With each passing quarter, the rate of economic expansion gets slower and slower and slower and slower. Now, if they were to cut the capital budget, that's where we're going to end up. That's why I'm saying Duncan is giving the minister bad advice.
Somebody's asking how much of the tourism dollar is spent in the country.
40 cents.
And most of that 40 cents go back to purchase goods and oil and food.
Cheap wages at them to the people.
Ah, boy. Ralston, the finance minister, is now agreeing with Mark Golding that the March deadline should move to what? April?
April, yeah.
So why it take so long to agree?
Because the finance minister back is against the wall, all of the boasting on the short on the red card. Because the finance minister red card himself. If you notice the man, analyst, then notice who the man tells and me come to.
I remember, I think it's at least twice in Mark Golding's budget presentation, he mentioned that the deadline should move.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. There's getting more time to collect the money. Yes, that's correct. Yep. Finance minister now seeing back to the world. You know what I'm saying? Things have to, just as you said, them always on Monday morning quarterback. Things have to happen first before them shit. Them can't see things before. Proactivity, yeah.
The banks, Ralston, I'll go to that finally. They have put out some rules now and they're giving the banks a year to put certain guidelines, certain measures in place without any consequence if the bank fail to meet these guidelines. Does that make sense?
Bank of Jamaica government is extremely incompetent. We need a new government of the Bank of Jamaica. That's the summary. Because part of the slow growth has to do with the behavior of the Bank of Jamaica. When people go to the ATM machine, they go for money to do transactions. But they don't get the money to show on the pace of that transaction. It means that firms take longer to clear themselves and means that they make less profit. The Bank of Jamaica government is totally ineffective. Simple. You need to go home.
I have an employee in St. Mary and called me yesterday saying he needs some cash. And him say boss, me drive come for it, man. He had done some work. And him drive come to Port Antonio. And when we got the Scotiabank machine, it's on the US dollars it again.
Yeah, man.
So I had to go to the NCB machine and pay for the transaction. More for the transaction.
Yep.
And they are saying
I mean like today you can multiply that right across Jamaica, which is a major commercial deal. So you see how much taxes and revenue the economy lose because of that. The Bank of Jamaica government is incompetent. He needs to go home, man.
And the banks are running the country or they want to run it.
Yep, exactly. Well, he went to an IDB conference and told the people that. Can you imagine that?
But how you make a statement like that?
All right.
How you make a statement like that? And what is really happening? Because he's saying that the BOJ don't have legislation to make any rules of the...
Because he needs to go to the minister and say, Minister, I need these legislations to do my job properly. So he's supposed to be recommending to the minister that the minister goes to Parliament and provide the legislation for him to do his job properly. He's hiding behind the legislation because the government is conflicted and incompetent.
Ralston, Hyman, what is going to happen in the next 6 months?
More action to the people of Jamaica, and the government will be further behind in the polls.
Where will the food prices go? Because that's one of the things where people are worried about. Food prices.
Watch me. Here's why I told you the thing about the tourism sector. The dollar is now 158 and change in this one, despite every intervention by the central bank over the last 2 weeks. Every time the dollar drops by 1%, it costs us the debt moves up by $13 billion and the interest payments go up by $609 million. So think about it as a situation where the government has no revenues or revenue shortfall, and then it has to be paying more to service the debt. That's what is happening. So that is why we need to earn more foreign exchange, production and export. Many people don't know that. So-called analysts, every time the dollar drops by 1%, the debt goes up by $13 billion, and we have to find $609 million more to service it.
So anytime we see the dollar start drop, we problem. More problem.
Yeah, of course. Big problem. And we drop from 156 to 158 and change, despite every intervention by the central bank.
So what is going to happen to that $5 billion reserve?
Well, it is going to continue to fall if he continues on that trajectory. So we need to earn more foreign exchange. That's the bottom line. We need to export more, produce more, and export more, earn more foreign exchange.
Ralston.
That we don't integrate in the tourism sector, with the creative sector, with the manufacturing sector, with the agricultural sector. Because apart from remittances, tourism is our biggest foreign exchange earner.
So you are suggesting that the government pump more money into agriculture?
Agriculture, manufacturers, yes, and deal with the creative industries. Get the banks to start recognizing intellectual property so creative people can go to the bank and get affordable loans and all of those things, rather than car loans, which increases the demand for foreign exchange.
Somebody's asking, Kirk, what if the debt was paid off?
And that's the simple thing. If the debt was paid off, I would have no debt to pay. They would have more money to invest in the country. And we don't know to a common sense thing with Kirk. If Kirk had a mortgage on his house, would he pay off the mortgage on the house before he take care of his family?
But let's put some reality to the question. How would I pay off the debt, Ralston?
You can't pay off the debt unless you have to run and make money. That's how I bring it to common sense.
All right. So which country in the world will have no debt?
No country in the world will have debt. America's debt to GDP is 124%, and America is the richest and biggest economy in the world.
And them owe trillions.
Trillions. America's debt is $35 trillion.
What is Jamaica's debt?
Yeah.
What is Jamaica's debt?
124% of GDP, higher than Jamaica.
And what is Jamaica's debt?
UK is 100%.
How much trillion Jamaica owe?
Jamaica's debt is 2.2 trillion.
2.2 trillion.
Yeah, I know the minister said not paid though, the debt still there 2.2 trillion because they might borrow more. This year I borrowed 62 billion.
Where was that debt in 2016?
Yeah?
Where was the debt in 2016?
In 2016, that debt was $1.7 trillion.
And it had 2-point-something trillion, also the debt grow.
Yeah.
So with all of what we are talk, so the debt
but that's the point I'm making to Colin. Why did someone keep them borrow more? This year they borrow 52 billion more than last year. That's the point I'm making to you.
It's simply economics we are bringing down to people. Yes, I heard you say that.
You heard that?
Yes, so you have to show off your knowledge.
From the World Bank, 89 billion from local sources and 8.1 billion from Saudi Arabia.
We're borrowing from Saudi Arabia. What kind of deal that is now?
That's the point I'm making. So the minister, if you notice what he said to me, because he used to journalists and analysts who don't know what is happening now. So he said, when he say, oh, Minister, I read these things and know this, he said, boy, I show off your knowledge because they're not talk to people who don't understand what I want.
Right.
That's why he said, boy.
Who can't rebut not what him say?
That's why when I leave you and say, boy, I understand when I come on this program that I have to be on top of my game because very. All right. You're not used to that. You're used to the little thing where he said he was run the program them and nobody don't know what I want, so they just report to himself.
Fitzroy saying, ask Ralston if he knows why Jamaica has the highest departure tax for travelers, which cause the cost to come to Jamaica so high.
Simply because the minister wants more tax revenues to pay down the debt faster than it is normally necessary.
Somebody's asking what is the interest rate we are borrowing at now?
Jamaica?
Yeah.
Well, the money from IMF are cheap money, 4% money. Money from international capital markets are 10% money and change. In fact, the last time the minister borrowed 10% money to pay out 10% money.
Lord God. So what's the percentage we're getting from Saudi Arabia?
Saudi Arabia money is within the region of 5 to 6%.
Also a little better than the international bank, but a little over IMF.
Yeah, a little bit over the IMF rate.
So that's not so bad then.
Not so bad. Locally, the rates are 10% and change because the benchmark rate is 7% right now.
So the government is borrowing money from our local banks at
89 billion from local sources.
And we're borrowing that at over 10%.
Yeah, man.
So is that we can't get all that money from the IMF at 4%, or we have to borrow from these local banks?
Well, I mean, we already have some maximum lending facilities with the IMF, 1.76 billion. So
we can't go more than that.
Yeah.
Oh. You see, people, we simplify the things right here. So we just start the real money and we're going to understand what is happening. Yeah. So you are saying that this not $22 billion shortfall, but when you had the 40 that we don't know where it's coming from, it's $60 billion shortfall.
$60 billion, yeah, I remember saying he said the 45 billion, 20 billion after the Spark program, and the remaining 25 billion was to deal with the increase in income tax threshold and reverse tax credit. So all those programs are uncertain at this particular point in time because you don't know where the money comes from.
Jewel. Jewel is asking, why did the debt expand so much in 8 years? Was it due to infrastructure building?
No, one thing that happened, you remember that they took the IMF money and never did what they were supposed to do. And there were massive gaps in the system. So they have to cover it with borrowing.
I think she's talking from 2016 to now, where you said that at 2016 we were at 170 trillion. Now we're at
$1.7 trillion.
$1.7 trillion in debt. You are saying that now we are too much in debt.
Remember I said there were significant borrowings from the IMF during that period, and we still have borrowed from the IMF.
Okay.
That's the previous administration when they came in to borrow over $1 billion from the IMF, $1 billion US dollars, 150 billion Jamaican, and this administration borrowed another 1.76 billion, upon another 200 billion Jamaican dollars. So if you add that to 1.7, you get the 2.2 trillion.
Right. So she's wondering why we go so high in another 8 years. Somebody else is also asking, what is the prospect that we will default on our loans?
No, man, Nigel Clark, that will never happen, man. Come on.
They said, Nigel, no, make a default.
No, man, remember that coming, remember you said, man, overpayment, you don't want the best payment coming in, and said Jamaica have the third fastest debt reduction in the entire world in the last 10 years.
So we have record. We have record for that.
Precisely.
But
if we tell the man that say well slow down a little, it will be a problem because Jamaica have good name to get payment.
So if we go to what we're supposed to be paying, if we say to them, say, all right, we're gonna just go and pay what we're supposed to pay, it would be a. But why, Ralston? Why you are of the belief that the minister won't do that?
Well, the man tell me say nah.
You say nah do it.
That is something that the politician would be willing to explore. The minister said nah do it.
You must continue that buffer. What are the benefits to gain, and when will those benefits? Because there must be some benefit.
Alright, what's the benefits now? You know what it said? It said when you do that, if you want to borrow, you will get cheaper loans to borrow. You get better interest rates. So I'm gonna say, we pay good, so we can lend it more. But you only under that strategy if you want to continue to borrow forever. At some point in time, you must say, boy, we have a grow so that we can reduce the need for borrowing.
So like Kirk, where I say if we pay off the debt, we don't really pay off the debt, but if we can stop borrowing for a while, and not pay upon the debt and stop borrowing.
Right.
So you're saying that there's no plan to stop borrowing?
No, precisely. Because if you sacrifice growing for borrowing, then that's the problem, and that is what the minister does. The minister have a trajectory where we are not growing, so we have to continue to borrow. And we are saying to the minister, change that and make it grow so that we borrow less.
But when you look at it for real, though, it don't look like them intend to stop borrow, because I mean, if you're not investing in agriculture, then basically what you are doing is you are killing out our crops and our food security, and then we're going to have to always import food. People don't think about that.
And that's the point, though. I'm glad you make that point. So if you export 1.68 million and you import 6.89 billion, you're always in a debt. Because you have to borrow money for payment bill. Because the tourism and the remittances can't cover that. Let me be honest, for the first 11 months of last year, the trade deficit between our import and export was minus 5.1 billion. And the money we get from remittances and tourism was only 4.4 billion. So we have to borrow $1 billion to fill that gap.
Oh, so the deficit, the shortfall was $1 billion.
Yeah.
So we're not even earning what we are used up. We're not even at break even.
Colin, the exports were 1.683 billion. You know what was the oil bill? 1.9 billion. So the amount of things that we export to have a pay oil bill.
Couldn't buy the oil. Couldn't buy all the oil we need.
Precisely. Not people ever know. The food and consumer goods import bill was 1.7 billion. So the total exports could even pay the food and consumer goods bill, much less the oil bill. Madness, them thing, man. Madness.
And you are of the opinion that we can produce and earn our way out of that, and not just you. I am.
Of course. It would bring in the creative industries and integrate them more closely with tourism and agriculture and all those things. Of course. Yeah. And I think as I give you, anybody can go up on the Statistical Institute of Jamaica website and see them for themselves.
A question here, Cecile Clark. She says, ask Ralston about the 18 years of PNP government. Was it a success with the high interest rate policy that Mr. Ronnie Tweed said it was the biggest transfer of money from the poor to the rich since slavery was abolished?
All right, good question. During that 18 years, when Omar Davies became finance minister, yeah, you see the net international return what I talk about now?
Yes.
We're minus $500 million.
So we never have no money. We do a $500 million upon the net reserve. We never have none.
Yes. When it was $2 billion. So it had $2.5 billion from minus 500 to $2 billion. Check that, $2.5 billion.
Right.
All right? All right. Unemployment before the 18 years was 34%. When Omar Davies leave, it was 9%. Poverty was 27%. When Omar Davies leave, it was 9%. During that 18-year period, we couldn't pass the IMF agreement until Omar Davies come. In 1995, we paid off the IMF, and we never go back to the IMF till the JLP came into power in 2007. You follow me?
And back those days, the IMF was a different IMF from now. Was a rigid regime that dictates how you spend the money when you borrow the money. So to leave the IMF was a big thing back then. No people never realized that.
Precisely. All right. That again. The inflation was 8% in 1989. When Omar Davies left, it was 5%. The fiscal deficit was 9% of GDP in 1989. When Omar Davies left, it was 5% of GDP. And you this one now. Everybody talk about phone and digitalization and ray.
Yes.
Came down while it's a monopoly.
Them alone.
Yeah. Yeah, another 18 years, Digicel come. So everybody talk about phone now. And our People's National Party administration.
Digicel, Claro.
Yeah. We get some phone savvy so that we can talk about everybody that on phone now and talk about social media and ray. Highway, everybody talk about highway now. When the highway started 18 years ago, we just say I waste money. So she can't have that.
So you are saying based on those figures, Cecile, then you can decide if it was a successful 18 years.
And those figures cannot be successful in contradicting. They can go to the IMF and find them, they can go to the World Bank and find them, they can go to the Bank of Jamaica and find them, they can go to Staten and find them. By the way, the net was 972 billion in 2007 when the PNP left office. By 2012, it was 147%, 1.6 trillion, and we were locked out of the international capital market.
So hold on. So you are saying, because it is something that I want to have a discussion. I would love to have a discussion with Dr. Clark, or if you could have a discussion with Dr. Clark on that period under the GLP between 2007 and 2011, December.
They pretended that it never happened. And many of the supporters pretended that it never happened. But we want to do the work and fix what it is, we that it happened.
You are saying, hold on, you are saying that up to 2007, Jamaica's debt was 90 what?
972 billion.
So it never reached $1 trillion. 972 billion US dollars.
Yeah, man.
And between 2007 and 2011, it got to what?
1.6 trillion. in 2007.
So them put on 700 billion on it.
Precisely. And then got us locked out of the international capital markets because they mismanaged the IMF agreement and took away the IMF's money.
What do you mean them take away the IMF money?
Alright. When the crisis started in 2008, they came into power in September of 2007. Remember the history.
Yes.
And when the world crisis started in 2007, Ardisha, Ed Bartlett said it will help Jamaica, it will affect Jamaica. That
big recession, the massive meltdown.
Yeah, 2008, the Great Recession. Yeah? Ed Bartlett, Ardisha said it will help Jamaica. Bruce Colin said going to the IMF was never necessary. Then, at that time, the international reserves run down from the 2.4 billion overall left to 900 million. Then they run down the IMF. When they run down the IMF, right? The only person in that team, they tell them have chief finance minister. We used to call them 1/3. Yeah?
Who them?
Ardisha, Dwight Nelson, Don Webbing.
Three finance ministers.
Yeah, but we used to call them 1/3.
Because Don wasn't a junior minister, he was a minister.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Nobody in that team understood anything about IMF. Only Latimer there. And then fire Latimer there in November of 2009. And then they go to IMF and then took a standby facility rather than an extended fund facility. Take the money, IMF work on IDB, then 2.4 billion upfront, then take the money and never did any other thing that they were supposed to do. Peter Phillips have to come to the thing that they used to do. That is why Peter Phillips is walking in resignation every day.
To do what? To resign if a mistake was made? What?
Precisely. Yeah. And that is why they gave us the highest primary surplus in the world, higher than Greece, 7.5% of GDP. And Greece had a bigger debt to GDP, and Jamaica, Greece was 168%, and we were 147%. Foreshot to leverage our political capital, go to the Black Caucus in America, Maxine Waters, and the back of over the IMF will check Christina on Christmas Eve. Them time we were Ministry of Finance under the footwork. We never get an agreement until May of 2013. So it's like a movie, you can't get a movie, can't be the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, the JP people, they tell the Nigel Clark in a public life, the JP people pretend that never happened. But it did happen.
And really, that was what set the foundation and the guidelines for what is happening now, isn't it?
Correct.
Ralston, it's a teaching moment when I talk to you on a Saturday morning. We appreciate it, my brother.
Yeah,
one love.
Yeah,
anything you want to add before you leave us?
No, all I said to the minister, if the signal that you are getting, you are reading it wrong. It's not a temporary timing problem. The problem is that you are now maxed out. The economy is not going fast enough to support the level of tax revenues that you want. So you need to take measures to accelerate the process of economic growth. And the easiest way to do that is to get more from the tourism sector by more closely integrating agriculture and creative industries and manufacturing with the tourism sector, but those sectors need fiscal support. So don't follow the chairman of TPAC and cut the capital budget. Fully spend the capital budget. Make every effort to fully spend the capital budget in the areas of agriculture, manufacturing, the road network, as well as to get the banking sector to understand the creative industries and know how to value intellectual property, and get the governor of the Bank of Jamaica to get the ATM machines to work if you want to see a change.
Can they go back to Venezuela?
No, this administration can't go back to Venezuela. Only a PNP administration can go back to Venezuela.
Ralston, blessings, my brother, and thanks.
Ever.
One love. Ralston Hyman, people. Listen to him every morning, weekdays, on Power 106, 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock, and learn some of the things them.